First contact and humiliation. The vast expanse of space stretched before Captain Zara Chen as she guided Earth's first faster-than-light ship, the ESF Pioneer, towards the coordinates of the alien signal. After decades of searching, humanity had finally made contact with an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. The crew's excitement was palpable, a mix of anticipation and nervousness permeating the bridge. "We're approaching the rendezvous point, Captain," announced navigator Alex Reeves, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Zara nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the viewscreen. "All stations, report status." As her crew called out their readiness, a massive ship shimmered into existence before them. Its sleek, crystalline structure dwarfed the Pioneer, making Earth's pride and joy look like a mere toy in comparison. "My God," whispered Dr. Elias Patel, the ship's xenobiologist. "It's magnificent." The alien vessel pulsed with an ethereal light, and suddenly a melodic voice filled the Pioneer's bridge. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Srixian Empire. We welcome you to the galactic community." Zara stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "This is Captain Zara Chen of the Earth Ship Pioneer. We come in peace and friendship." A chuckle, both musical and condescending, echoed through the speakers. "Peace and friendship. How quaint. Tell us, Captain Chen, how long did it take your species to achieve faster-than-light travel?" Caught off guard by the question, Zara hesitated before answering. "We achieved FTL capabilities just 3 years ago." Another laugh, this time joined by multiple voices. 3 years? Oh, you poor primitive creatures. We mastered faster-than-light travel millennia ago. Your technology must seem so advanced to you. The mocking tone sent a chill down Zora's spine. This wasn't the warm welcome they had hoped for. "We may be new to interstellar travel," she replied, keeping her voice level, "but we have much to offer. We seek to learn and grow." "Learn and grow," interrupted the alien voice. "Perhaps you can learn to be our pets. That might be all you're good for." Anger flashed across the faces of the Pioneer's crew. Dr. Patel stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overriding his indignation. "We've made great strides in various fields of science. Surely there must be areas where we can contribute." "Contribute?" The alien's tone dripped with disdain. "Your science is like a child's finger painting compared to our masterpieces. But please, do continue to amuse us with your primitive notions." As the humiliation continued, Zora noticed her communications officer, Lieutenant Riya Sharma, discreetly tapping at her console. Riya caught the captain's eye and gave a subtle nod. She had managed to record and analyze the alien transmission, gathering valuable data even as they endured the mockery. For the next hour, the Srixians continued to belittle humanity's achievements, dismissing their art, culture, and technology as insignificant. With each passing moment, Zora's determination grew. She would prove them wrong, show them that humanity was more than they assumed. As the cultural exchange drew to a close, the Srixian spokesperson's voice took on a patronizing tone. "We will allow your species limited access to some of our less advanced outposts. Perhaps in a few thousand years, you might evolve enough to be of some use to us." Zara's jaw clenched, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. "We appreciate your generosity. Rest assured, we will make the most of this opportunity." As the communication ended and the alien ship disappeared in a flash of light, a heavy silence fell over the Pioneer's bridge. The crew looked to their captain, a mix of anger, shame, and determination in their eyes. Zara took a deep breath, then addressed her team. "I know that wasn't what we expected, but remember this moment. Remember how they laughed at us, how they dismissed us, because one day we'll prove them wrong." She turned to Riya. "Lieutenant Sharma, what were you able to gather from their transmission?" Riya's eyes lit up. "A lot, Captain. Their technology is incredible, but there are patterns, frequencies we've never seen before. I I think they're using dimensional manipulation far beyond anything we theorized. Dr. Pottle leaned in, intrigued. Dimensional manipulation, like in Dr. Yuki Tanaka's theoretical work on seventh-dimensional physics. Raya nodded excitedly. Exactly like that. If we could understand this, replicate it, we could leapfrog centuries of technological development. Zara finished, a spark of hope igniting in her chest. She turned to her helmsman. Set a course for Earth, maximum speed. Then, addressing the entire crew, she continued, what happened here today doesn't leave this ship. As far as the world is concerned, we had a polite first contact. But we have work to do. As the Pioneer turned back towards Earth, Zora's mind raced with possibilities. The Zrixians had unwittingly given humanity a gift. The motivation to prove them wrong, and a glimpse of the technology that could make it possible. Little did the aliens know, back on Earth, a secret project was already underway. A project that would soon shake the foundations of the galaxy and force the Zrixians to eat their words. In the depths of a hidden facility beneath the Atacama Desert, Dr. Yuki Tanaka stood before a shimmering portal, a smile playing on her lips. Soon, she whispered. Very, very soon. The Zrixians' laughter still echoed in Zora's mind as the Pioneer sped towards home. They thought they knew the limits of human potential. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Project Nexus unveiled. Deep beneath the sun-baked surface of the Atacama Desert, in a facility known only to a select few, Dr. Yuki Tanaka stood before a shimmering portal. The air crackled with energy, distorting the space around it in ways that defied conventional physics. This was the culmination of Project Nexus, humanity's greatest scientific endeavor, hidden from the world, and now more crucial than ever. As alarms blared, signaling another failed attempt, Yuki sighed and ran a hand through her salt and pepper hair. Power down the matrix, she called out to her team. Let's analyze the data and try again. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, her brilliant protege, approached with a tablet in hand. The seventh-dimensional fluctuations are still too unstable, Yuki. We're close, but... Their conversation was interrupted by the facility's security chief, Colonel Sarah Blackwood. Dr. Tanaka, we've received word from the Pioneer. Captain Chen is requesting an immediate meeting with you and the project leads. Yuki's eyebrows rose. The Pioneer wasn't due back for weeks. Did they say why? Sarah shook her head. No details given, but it's classified as ultra-priority. Hours later, in a secure conference room, Captain Chen briefed the Nexus team on their encounter with the Zrixians. The room was silent as she played back recordings of the aliens' mockery. They think we're pets, Zora concluded, her voice tight with controlled anger. Primitive beings barely worth acknowledging. But thanks to Lieutenant Sharma's analysis, we've got something they don't expect. Rhea stepped forward, projecting a complex series of equations and waveforms. Their technology manipulates higher dimensions in ways we've only theorized. But the principles align remarkably with Dr. Tanaka's work. All eyes turned to Yuki, who was studying the data with intense focus. This is incredible, she murmured. Marcus, look at these phase variances. They're using a resonance cascade to stabilize the dimensional rifts. Marcus's eyes widened as he grasped the implications. If we apply this to the Nexus drive, we could achieve stable seventh-dimensional travel. Yuki finished, excitement building in her voice. Colonel Blackwood interjected, how long until we have a working prototype? Yuki and Marcus exchanged glances, performing rapid mental calculations. With this new data, and if we push ourselves to the limit, 3 months, Yuki said. You have 2, came a new voice. The room turned to see UN Secretary-General Adebayo entering, his presence a testament to the gravity of the situation. The Zrixians have graciously invited a human delegation to their nearest outpost in 2 months. We need to show them what humanity is truly capable of. The next 2 months were a blur of frenetic activity. The Nexus facility buzzed day and night as the team worked tirelessly to integrate the new insights into their design. Sleep was a luxury, with most team members catching naps in shifts to keep the work going around the clock. Failures were frequent and sometimes spectacular. More than once, the desert above the facility was rocked by muffled explosions as another prototype destabilized. But with each setback came new understanding, new refinements. 53 days into their 2-month deadline, as dawn broke over the Atacama, Yuki stood once again before the portal chamber. The air hummed with potential energy, the portal's edge shimmering with an otherworldly light. "Matrix is stable," Marcus reported, his voice tense with anticipation. "Seventh dimensional resonance is holding steady." Yuki took a deep breath. Initiate final sequence. The hum grew to a crescendo. The portal's center began to swirl, colors that had no name in human language dancing across its surface. And then, with a sound like reality itself tearing, the portal stabilized into a smooth mirror-like surface. For a moment, no one dared to breathe. Then the probe they had sent through reappeared, laden with data from the other side. "It worked," Marcus whispered. Then louder, "It worked." The room erupted in cheers and embraces. Years of work, months of grueling effort, had finally paid off. Humanity had unlocked the secret of seventh-dimensional travel. As the celebration continued around her, Yuki allowed herself a small smile. "Now," she said softly, "we show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. While the Nexus team worked to scale up their prototype for a full-sized ship, a cover story was crafted. To the world, and to the Zrixians, it would appear that humanity had made a miraculous breakthrough in propulsion technology, achieving faster-than-light travel through conventional means. Only a select few knew the truth, that beneath the hull of the newly christened HFY Horizon lay a device that could fold space and time itself, allowing the ship to step through the higher dimensions. As the day of departure approached, the chosen crew underwent intensive training. Captain Chen, having proved her mettle in first contact, was selected to command the Horizon on its maiden voyage. On the eve of their departure, Secretary General Adebayo addressed the crew. "You carry with you the hopes and dreams of all humanity. Show the galaxy that we are not to be underestimated. Show them the true spirit of our species." As dawn broke on launch day, the Horizon rose from its hidden base, its sleek form belying the revolutionary technology within. As it ascended through the atmosphere, Captain Chen's voice crackled over the global broadcast. "People of Earth, this is Captain Zora Chen of the HFY Horizon. Today, we embark on a journey that will change the course of human history, to the stars and beyond." With a flash of light that outshone the sun, the Horizon vanished, leaving behind a world holding its breath in anticipation. In the depths of space, far beyond the solar system, the Horizon reappeared. The bridge crew stared in awe at the unfamiliar star patterns surrounding them. "Navigation," Zara called out, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her. "Confirm our position." After a moment, the navigator responded, his voice filled with wonder. "Captain, we've traveled over 10,000 light-years in an instant. We're at the coordinates of the Zrixian outpost." A fierce smile spread across Zora's face. "Excellent. Let's go introduce ourselves properly, shall we?" As the Horizon glided towards the alien outpost, its crew stood tall and proud. Humanity had taken its first true step onto the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. Cosmic unveiling. As the HSS Horizon approached the Zrixian outpost, an uneasy silence fell over the bridge. The massive crystalline structure of the alien station loomed before them, its design a testament to the advanced nature of its creators. "Open a channel," Captain Zora Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the surprised face of a Zrixian official. His multifaceted eyes widened in shock as he recognized the species addressing him. "This is impossible," the alien sputtered. "How did you? You shouldn't be capable of reaching this outpost for centuries." Zara allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. It seems you may have underestimated us, honored Zrixian. We request permission to dock and meet with your leadership. As the Horizon was guided into a docking bay, the crew could feel the weight of countless alien eyes upon them. Word of their arrival had spread quickly through the station, and crowds of diverse alien species gathered to catch a glimpse of the impossible humans. The diplomatic team, led by Dr. Elias Patel, disembarked to meet with the station's governor. As they walked through the sprawling corridors of the outpost, Elias marveled at the advanced technology surrounding them. Holographic displays flickered with information in languages he couldn't begin to comprehend, and beings of all shapes and sizes moved about their business, some pausing to stare at the human delegation. They were led to a grand chamber where the station's leadership awaited them. At the center stood High Governor Zixera, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies. "Welcome, humans," Zixera said, her tone a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Your arrival has caused quite a stir. We are surprised by your progress." Elias stepped forward, bowing slightly. "Thank you for your hospitality, High Governor. We are eager to demonstrate that humanity is ready to take its place among the galactic community." As the diplomatic discussions began, back on the horizon, Captain Chen and her crew were hard at work. They knew that the success of their mission depended not just on the talks, but on what they could show the aliens. "Lieutenant Sharma, status on the Nexus drive?" Zara asked. Ria's fingers danced across her console. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're ready for a demonstration whenever you give the word." Zara nodded, a determined glint in her eye. "Good. Be prepared for my signal. We're going to show them exactly what we can do." In the conference chamber, the atmosphere had grown tense. The Zrixian officials, while outwardly polite, couldn't hide their skepticism about humanity's sudden technological leap. "While we applaud your achievement in reaching our outpost," one official said condescendingly, "you must understand that true galactic citizenship requires far more advanced capabilities. Perhaps in a few centuries, you might." Elias raised a hand, interrupting the alien mid-sentence. "With all due respect, we believe we're ready now. In fact, we'd like to offer a demonstration of our capabilities." High Governor Zixera leaned forward, intrigued. "A demonstration? Very well, Dr. Patel. What did you have in mind?" Elias tapped his communicator. "Captain Chen, we're ready." Back on the horizon, Zara smiled. "Acknowledged, Doctor. All hands, prepare for Nexus jump." The ship's engines hummed to life, a sound unlike anything the aliens had ever heard. On the station's monitors, the horizon seemed to shimmer, its outline becoming indistinct. "What is happening?" Zixera demanded, a note of alarm in her voice. Elias's smile widened. "Just watch." In a flash of prismatic light, the horizon vanished from the station's sensors. Alarms blared across the outpost as the aliens scrambled to locate the human vessel. "Impossible," cried one of the Zrixian scientists. "They've completely disappeared from our scans." Seconds ticked by, feeling like an eternity. Then, just as suddenly as it had vanished, the horizon reappeared, but not where it had been before. "High Governor," came Zora's voice over the communication channel. "I hope you don't mind, but we thought we'd take a quick trip to the galactic core and back. We brought you a souvenir." The station's sensors lit up as they detected a small probe floating alongside the horizon. Data started streaming in, showing readings from the very heart of the galaxy, a region that even the Zrixians, with all their advanced technology, had never been able to explore directly. The chamber erupted in chaos. Zrixian officials talked over one another, demanding explanations, while other alien representatives watched in awe and growing excitement. High Governor Zixera raised her hands, calling for silence. When the room quieted, she turned to Elias, her galaxy-filled eyes wide with a new respect. "Dr. Patel," she said, her voice filled with wonder and a hint of trepidation, "I believe we may have been hasty in our initial assessment of your species. Perhaps it's time we had a more In-depth discussion about humanity's role in the galactic community. Elias nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. We would be honored, High Governor. Humanity comes not to dominate, but to collaborate. We believe that together, we can push the boundaries of what's possible even further. As the diplomatic team delved into negotiations, Captain Chen and her crew on the horizon felt a surge of pride. They had done it. They had shown the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. But Zara knew this was just the beginning. As she looked out at the stars, she couldn't help but wonder what other mysteries of the universe awaited them, and how would humanity's emergence on the galactic stage change the cosmic balance of power. One thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again, and humanity was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with their ingenuity, their determination, and the power to traverse the very fabric of reality itself. As news of the humans' feat spread across the station and beyond, a new era dawned. The species that had once been laughed at and dismissed was now poised to become a major player in galactic affairs. The Zrixians and other alien races would soon learn that underestimating humanity was a mistake they wouldn't make twice. The cosmic dance had gained a new partner, and the music of the spheres had changed its tune. Humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same. Ripples across the stars. The news of humanity's astonishing feat spread across the galaxy at speeds that would have once seemed impossible. Within days, the Zrixian outpost had become a hub of frenetic activity, with delegations from dozens of alien species arriving to see the miraculous humans for themselves. On board the HS Horizon, Captain Zara Chen stood at the viewport, watching the constant stream of ships coming and going. The pride she felt was tempered by a growing sense of responsibility. They had changed the galaxy overnight, and now they had to deal with the consequences. Captain, Lieutenant Sharma's voice came over the comm. We're receiving a priority transmission from Earth. It's Secretary General Adebayo. Zara straightened her uniform. Put him through to my ready room. As she settled behind her desk, the holographic image of Adebayo flickered to life. The bags under his eyes spoke of sleepless nights, but there was a fire in his gaze. Captain Chen, he began, congratulations on a successful mission. You and your crew have made history. Thank you, sir, Zara replied. But I sense there's more. Adebayo nodded grimly. The galactic political landscape is shifting rapidly. Some species see us as a threat, others as potential allies. We need to move carefully. Dr. Patel and his team have been doing an admirable job, but we need to solidify our position. What do you need from us, sir? We're sending a full diplomatic corps your way. But more importantly, we're accelerating the Nexus program. The Horizon won't be alone for long. Zara's eyes widened. How many ships are we talking about? By this time next year, we'll have a fleet of 50 Nexus-capable vessels. The galaxy needs to understand that we're here to stay. As the implications sank in, Zara couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and apprehension. Humanity was about to become a major galactic power, ready or not. Meanwhile, in the Grand Council chamber of the Zrixian outpost, Dr. Elias Patel found himself at the center of a storm. Representatives from a dozen species argued loudly, their translators struggling to keep up with the heated exchange. The humans cannot be trusted with such power, bellowed Grakthor, the hulking representative of the Volcran Imperium. They're barely out of their stellar cradle. Who knows what havoc they might wreak? And yet, countered Sylvestra, the ethereal diplomat from the Aether Concordat, they've achieved what none of us thought possible. Imagine what we could learn from them. High Governor Zixera raised her hands for silence. Dr. Patel, perhaps you could address these concerns. Elias stood, feeling the weight of every alien eye upon him. He took a deep breath, remembering all that humanity had overcome to reach this point. Esteemed representatives, he began, his voice steady, I understand your fears. Change is always frightening, especially on a galactic scale. But I ask you to consider this. Humanity didn't develop this technology to conquer or to threaten. We did it because we were told we couldn't. He paused, letting his words sink in. You called us primitive. You laughed at our efforts. And in doing so, you sparked a fire in us, a drive to prove ourselves, not out of anger or revenge, but out of a deep-seated need to explore, to understand, to push beyond what's thought possible. The chamber had gone quiet, all attention focused on the human's words. We come to you now not as conquerors, but as explorers, as scientists, as dreamers. We've unlocked the secrets of the seventh dimension, not to dominate, but to learn, to grow. And we invite all of you to join us on this journey. As Elias spoke, on the other side of the galaxy, another scene was unfolding. In a hidden base on a nameless moon, shadowy figures gathered around a holographic display of the HS horizon. The humans have upset the balance, hissed one figure, its features obscured by a shimmering cloak. They must be contained. Agreed, rumbled another. Their Nexus technology cannot be allowed to spread. Prepare the Void Striker. We'll show these upstarts the true face of the cosmos. Back at the Zrixian outpost, as the Council debated humanity's place in the galactic order, alarms suddenly blared. High Governor Zixera's eyes widened in shock as she read the incoming reports. Impossible, she whispered. They're here. Who's here? Elias asked, a sense of dread growing in his stomach. Zixera turned to him, fear evident in her galaxy-filled eyes. The Shroud. A species so advanced they're thought to be myth by most. They've never intervened directly in galactic affairs before. Until now. On the Horizon's bridge, Zara watched in awe as a massive ship seemed to materialize from the very fabric of space. It was like looking at a hole in reality, edges shimmering with otherworldly energies. Captain, Rada's voice was tense. We're being hailed. Zara straightened her back. This was the moment that would define humanity's future in the cosmos. On screen, she commanded. The view screen flickered, and Zara found herself face to face with a being that defied description. It seemed to shift and change, as if struggling to maintain a form comprehensible to human senses. Humans, the being's voice echoed not just through the speakers, but seemingly in Zara's very mind. You have breached the barriers of reality itself. The galaxy trembles at your potential. Now you must be judge. As the enormity of the situation sank in, Zara realized that humanity's greatest challenge was just beginning. They had proven themselves to the galaxy, but now they would have to prove themselves to the very guardians of cosmic order. The fate of not just Earth, but perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. And once again, it would fall to human ingenuity, determination, and that unquenchable spirit of exploration to see them through. As Zara prepared to respond to this cosmic entity, she felt the weight of all humanity on her shoulders. Whatever came next would shape the destiny of her species for eons to come. We are ready, she said, her voice unwavering. Let the judgment begin. Judgment of the cosmos. The massive shroud vessel loomed before the HS horizon, a void in the fabric of space that seemed to devour light itself. Captain Zara Chen stood tall on her bridge, facing the shimmering, ever-shifting visage of the shroud entity on the view screen. We accept your judgment, Zara said, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. But know this, humanity has faced trials before. We've overcome every obstacle in our path. We're ready for whatever challenge you present. The shroud being's form rippled, a cascade of impossible geometries. Bold words, human. But can your actions match them? You've torn through the veils of reality with little regard for the consequences. The cosmic order trembles at your recklessness. In the council chamber of the Zrixian outpost, Dr. Elias Patel and the assembled alien representatives watched the exchange in stunned silence. The mythical shroud, guardians of cosmic law, had emerged from legend to pass judgment on humanity. High Governor Zixera turned to Elias, her galaxy eyes wide with fear and a glimmer of hope. Dr. Patel, the fate of your species, perhaps of us all, rests on what happens next. What will you do? Elias took a deep breath, his mind racing. Everything they had worked for, everything they had proven, hung in the balance. But as he thought of Earth, of the indomitable human spirit that had brought them to this point, he knew what he had to do. Open a channel to the horizon, he said. As the link established, he spoke clearly, knowing his words would be heard by Captain Chen, the Shroud, and every being in the council chamber. Captain, respectfully, allow me to address our judge. On the horizon's bridge, Zora nodded. The channel is yours, Doctor. Elias straightened, facing the cosmic entity with determination. Esteemed guardian of the cosmic order, you say we've been reckless, that we've upset the balance. I say we've done what every species represented here has done since the dawn of time. We've evolved. The Shroud being's form pulsed, but remained silent, listening. Look at our history, Elias continued. Every great leap forward has been met with fear, with cries of recklessness. When we harnessed fire, split the atom, unraveled the genome, each time we faced the potential for destruction. But each time we chose creation instead. He gestured to the assembled alien representatives. We're not so different from any species here. We seek knowledge, understanding. Yes, we've unlocked the secrets of the seventh dimension, but not to conquer, not to destroy. We did it because it was there, waiting to be understood. The chamber was silent, every being, alien, human, and cosmic, hanging on Elias's words. Judge us not by your fears of what we might become, but by what we are. A species driven by curiosity, by the need to explore and understand. We've made mistakes, yes. We'll make more. But we'll learn from them, grow from them. Elias's voice grew stronger, filled with the passion of his conviction. If you find us worthy, we'll gladly join the cosmic community, sharing what we've learned and learning from others. If you find us wanting, we'll strive to be better. But know this, we won't stop exploring, stop pushing boundaries. It's who we are. It's what makes us human. As Elias's words faded, the Shroud being's form seemed to stabilize, taking on a more defined shape. When it spoke, its voice resonated not just through the communication channels, but seemed to vibrate through the very fabric of reality. Eloquent words, human. But words alone are not enough. You speak of creation over destruction. Prove it. Show us that your mastery of the seventh dimension can bring life, not just the potential for chaos. Captain Chen's eyes widened as she understood the challenge. She turned to her crew. Rhea, Marcus, the Genesis Protocol. It's time. The Horizon's engineers sprang into action, their fingers flying over consoles. The ship hummed with power as the Nexus drive spun up. But this time, it was different. Instead of tearing a hole in space-time, the energies coalesced, forming a swirling vortex of creation. Before the astonished eyes of the Shroud, the alien representatives, and the Horizon's crew, a miracle unfolded. In the empty space between the ships, matter and energy danced in complex patterns. Subatomic particles coalesced, atoms formed, and in a dazzling display of cosmic alchemy, a new world was born. A planet, small but perfect, spun into existence. Oceans formed, continents took shape, and wisps of atmosphere swirled around it. And there, on its surface, the first sparks of simple life began to flicker. Impossible, breathed High Governor Zixera, her voice filled with awe. The Shroud being's form pulsed with what might have been surprise. You've created life itself, harnessing the very forces of cosmic creation. This was unexpected. Zara stepped forward, her voice firm. This is who we are. We don't just explore the universe. We add to its wonders. The Genesis Protocol isn't a weapon. It's a gift, a way to breathe life into dead worlds, to spread the miracle of existence across the cosmos. The Shroud was silent for a long moment, its form rippling with complex energies. When it spoke again, there was a new tone in its otherworldly voice, respect. Humanity has been judged, it intoned, and found worthy. You have shown wisdom beyond your years, creativity beyond measure, and a spirit that burns with the fire of creation itself. Welcome, humans, to the cosmic community. The galaxy awaits your contributions. As the shroud vessel faded from view, returning to whatever realm it called home, the council chamber erupted in cheers and exclamations of wonder. Species that had moments ago been calling for humanity's containment now clamored to establish diplomatic relations. On the horizon's bridge, Zora allowed herself a small smile. They had done it. Humanity had faced its greatest test and emerged triumphant. "Captain," Rhea called out, excitement in her voice, "we're receiving transmissions from all over the galaxy. Everyone wants to talk to us, to learn about the Nexus Drive and the Genesis Protocol." Zora nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of possibility in equal measure. "Send a message to Earth. Tell them the stars are ours, not to conquer, but to nurture. A new age has begun." As the horizon prepared for its journey home, Zora looked out at the stars. The same stars that had once seemed so distant, so unreachable. Now they were highways, beacons, new homes waiting to be born. The species that had once been laughed at, dismissed as primitive, had proven itself to be among the greatest in the cosmos. Humanity had faced the judgment of the universe itself and emerged not just victorious, but enlightened. The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity, with its boundless creativity, its indomitable spirit, and its newfound cosmic power, would lead the way into a brighter future for all species. As the horizon engaged its Nexus Drive, preparing to return to Earth with news that would forever alter the course of human history, Zora whispered to herself, "To the stars we go, not as conquerors, but as creators." The cosmic dance has only just begun. The ship vanished in a flash of seventh-dimensional energy, leaving behind a new world, a shifted galactic order, and the promise of an age of wonders yet to come. Humanity had arrived on the cosmic stage, and the greatest adventure in the history of the species was just beginning.